Singapore isn't just one island, it's actually a main island surrounded by 62 smaller ones. The main island, called Pulau Ujung in Malay. Among the smaller islands, you'll find Jurong Island, Pulau Tekong, Pulau Ubin, and the famous resort island of Sentosa. Each one adds its own flavor to Singapore's unique character. What's truly mind-blowing is how this nation has literally grown over the years. Back in the 1960s, Singapore covered just 224 square miles. Today, it spans about 284 square miles, and it's still expanding. How is that even possible, you ask? Well, Singapore has mastered something called land reclamation, essentially creating new land from the sea by filling coastal areas with soil, sand, and rocks. Some of Singapore's most iconic locations, including Marina Bay, Changi Airport, and Jurong Island, literally didn't exist a few decades ago. They were born from this ambitious process. Singapore is home to around 6 million people packed into just 284 square miles. That's about 21,000 people per square mile, making it the second most densely populated country on Earth, after Macau and Monaco. Walking through Singapore's streets, you'll feel the vibrant energy of this density. It's not cramped or uncomfortable, but rather electric and alive. What makes this population truly special is its incredible diversity. About 75% of Singaporeans trace their roots back to China, while the remaining quarter includes people of Malay and Indian descent, along with various other ethnicities. This melting pot of cultures has created something unique, a society where Chinese temples stand beside Indian shrines, where mosques neighbor Christian churches, and where everyone somehow makes it work beautifully. The religious landscape reflects this diversity too. You'll find Buddhists, Hindus, Christians, Muslims, and followers of Taoism all coexisting peacefully. And when it comes to language, Singapore keeps it equally inclusive with 4 official languages: English, Mandarin, Malay, and Tamil. Most Singaporeans are multilingual, switching between languages as naturally as you or I might change TV channels. Singapore boasts an impressive literacy rate of 98%, thanks to a world-class education system. Primary education is free, and children are prepared from an early age to compete on the global stage. But education isn't the only thing Singapore gets right. The average life expectancy here is around 80 years, thanks to a healthcare system that's so advanced it uses AI and robotics. Crime rates? Incredibly low. In fact, Singapore consistently ranks as one of the safest countries in the world. People here feel secure walking the streets at any hour, and that's worth more than gold. Here's another fascinating aspect. About 80% of Singaporeans live in apartments built by the government's Housing and Development Board. To truly appreciate Singapore, you need to understand its remarkable journey through time. According to Malay tradition, back in 1299, an Asian prince founded what was then a simple fishing village called Temasek, which means sea town in Old Javanese. For centuries, this tiny settlement served as a pit stop for sailors traveling between India and China. Fishermen and pirates made their living here, taking advantage of the strategic location. In the 14th century, legend says a prince spotted a lion on the island. Inspired, he named it Singapura from Sanskrit, Simha meaning lion and Pura meaning city. Over time, Singapura became Singapore. Ironically, lions never actually lived here. Historians think he may have seen a tiger or another big cat. Still, Lion City has a far better ring than Tiger Town, don't you think? For the next several centuries, Singapore remained relatively obscure, passing through various empires and sultanates. But everything changed in 1819 when Sir Stamford Raffles of the British East India Company arrived. Raffles was searching for a trading post, and when he saw Singapore's location positioned perfectly between the Indian Ocean and the South China Sea, he recognized its potential immediately. He saw not just an island, but a future commercial empire. By 1826, Singapore officially became part of the British Empire, and the British got to work transforming it into a city and a major port. The timing was perfect. The Malay Peninsula had rich deposits of tin and rubber, both in high demand, and Singapore's harbor became the natural distribution center for these goods. What was once a haven for pirates was rapidly becoming a legitimate business hub. The transformation accelerated in 1869 when the Suez Canal opened and steamships began replacing sailing vessels. Suddenly, trade between Europe and East Asia exploded, and Singapore sat right in the middle of it all. Money poured in, infrastructure expanded, and the tiny island began its transformation into something extraordinary. However, Singapore's rise wasn't without setbacks. During World War II in 1942, Japan invaded and occupied Singapore, exposing the weaknesses of British rule. The occupation was harsh, and when the war ended and the British returned, things were never quite the same. The seeds of independence had been planted. In 1951, Singapore gained city status under a British royal charter. By 1959, it became self-governing, though Britain retained control of defense and foreign affairs. In 1963, Singapore joined Malaysia, but political and economic tensions led to separation in August 1965, making it a fully independent republic. Every nation has its symbols, and Singapore's are rich with meaning. Its flag features two horizontal stripes, red for brotherhood and equality, and white for purity and virtue. In the top left corner, a crescent moon symbolizes a young nation on the rise, while 5 stars stand for democracy, peace, progress, justice, and equality. Simple yet profoundly symbolic. Singapore's most iconic symbol is the Merlion, a mythical creature with a lion's head and a fish's body. The lion recalls Lion City, while the fish honors its fishing village roots. The 28-foot statue at Merlion Park, spouting water into Marina Bay, is a favorite for photos and postcards alike. More than a landmark, the Merlion tells a story of triumph. Every water spray celebrates a city that rose against all odds. Singapore is mostly flat, with over half of its land sitting below 50 feet above sea level, though some hilly areas add variety. Geographers divide it into 3 main regions: the Central Highlands, the Western Undulating Region, and the Eastern Coastal Plain. The western area features rolling hills and ridges like Mount Faber and Pasir Panjang, offering scenic harbor views. Once almost entirely covered by rainforest, Singapore lost about 95% of its forests to urban development. Yet it has reinvented itself as a city and a garden, blending nature and urban life through rooftop parks, vertical gardens, and lush, tree-lined streets, earning its famous nickname, the Garden City. Singapore has a tropical rainforest climate, meaning it's hot and humid all year round. Located just 85 miles north of the equator, it doesn't experience traditional seasons. No spring, summer, fall, or winter. Temperatures stay steady between 77 and 90 degrees F, with frequent heavy rain that keeps the island lush and green. Water is a major challenge for a small island like Singapore. With no natural lakes or glaciers and only short rivers, the Kallang River at 6 miles and the historic Singapore River at just 2 miles, the nation relies on innovation. To meet its needs, Singapore built one of the world's most advanced water management systems, featuring a vast network of reservoirs and catchment areas that efficiently collect and store rainwater. Now we come to one of Singapore's most impressive achievements, its economy. For a country with virtually no natural resources, no oil, no minerals, no farmland to speak of, Singapore has built one of the strongest economies in Asia and indeed the world. How? Through sheer determination, smart policies, and strategic positioning. Singapore boasts one of the world's most open and business-friendly economies. Starting a company is simple, with minimal taxes and regulations. This openness attracts major industries like electronics, oil refining, and biotechnology, drawing global firms to its industrial zones. Manufacturing and services drive the economy, while trade keeps it thriving. As a major global hub, the Port of Singapore ranks among the busiest in the world, moving millions of containers filled with machinery, petroleum, electronics, and chemicals every year. Tourism also plays a significant role. Millions of visitors pour into Singapore each year, drawn by its attractions, cleanliness, safety, and unique cultural blend. Financial services represent another major sector. Many international banks and financial institutions have regional headquarters here. Singapore has invested heavily in world-class infrastructure to support all this economic activity. The port facilities are state-of-the-art. Changi Airport consistently ranks as one of the world's best. Public transportation is efficient and extensive. All of this creates an ecosystem where businesses can thrive. Interestingly, while agriculture plays almost no role in Singapore's economy due to limited land, the country is a major exporter of two specific things: orchids and aquarium fish species. It's a small niche, but Singapore has turned it into an art form, breeding some of the world's most beautiful ornamental fish and flowers. Despite its dense population, Singapore prioritizes environmental conservation. The city maintains over 300 parks and 4 major nature reserves, including the Bukit Timah Nature Reserve, home to thousands of plant species like rattan palms and durian trees. It offers a rare glimpse of Singapore's original rainforest, nature preserved amid urban life. Most of Singapore's wildlife thrives in protected areas like Bukit Timah Nature Reserve and Sungai Buloh Wetland Reserve. Native mammals include long-tailed macaques, slow lorises, and scaly anteaters. The skies host birds like the Indian myna, Brahminy kite, and house sparrow, while cobras and various lizards are common reptilian residents. All right, let's talk about what brings millions of visitors to Singapore each year. Start your visit at the Merlion statue in Merlion Park near Marina Bay. Standing 28 feet tall and spouting water into the bay, it's Singapore's most iconic selfie spot. Nearby, the smaller 6-foot Merlion cub adds charm to the scene, with Marina Bay's skyline providing a stunning backdrop. Next, explore Gardens by the Bay, a breathtaking 250-acre nature park. Inside are the Flower Dome and Cloud Forest, but the highlight is the Supertree Grove, towering vertical gardens up to 160 feet tall. At night, the Garden Rhapsody light and sound show transforms them into a glowing, musical wonderland that feels absolutely magical. The Singapore Botanic Gardens, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, spans 200 acres and features the National Orchid Garden with over 60,000 orchids from 1,000 species, a paradise for flower lovers worldwide. Nearby, Bird Paradise, Asia's largest bird park, houses 400 species in vast aviaries where visitors can walk among free-flying birds, an experience straight out of a nature documentary. But here's something unique. The Night Safari, the world's first nocturnal wildlife park. Most zoos close at dusk, but the Night Safari opens as the sun sets. You can observe over 100 species in their natural nighttime behaviors: Asian elephants, clouded leopards, Malayan tigers, flying foxes, pangolins, and sloth bears. It's an entirely different experience from a daytime zoo visit, somehow more intimate and thrilling. The Singapore Zoo, often ranked among the world's best, is famous for its open-concept design, where animals roam freely in natural habitats instead of cages. A highlight is breakfast with orangutans, an unforgettable experience that lets visitors share a meal beside these remarkable primates. History buffs should check out the National Museum of Singapore, which chronicles the nation's journey from fishing village to global powerhouse through engaging exhibits and multimedia presentations. For pure fun, Sentosa Island offers endless attractions like Universal Studios Singapore, Wings of Time, and thrilling Skyline Luge rides. For nightlife, head to Marina Bay Sands or Clarke Quay, both buzzing with bars, music, and energy. Don't miss Jewel at Changi Airport with its breathtaking rain vortex, the world's tallest indoor waterfall. For spectacular views, ride the Singapore Flyer or stroll across the glowing, DNA-inspired Helix Bridge. For a unique view of the city, take a Singapore River cruise past historic shophouses, modern skyscrapers, and famous landmarks, perfect for photos and a dose of history. Then visit the Chinese Garden, a serene park in traditional Chinese style featuring bonsai gardens, stone lions, pagodas, the White Rainbow Bridge, and even a turtle museum. A peaceful escape that feels like a touch of China within Singapore, or economic success. It's the way different cultures blend together harmoniously. This is most evident in the country's festivals, food, and cultural districts. Singapore's Chinese heritage shines through festivals like Lunar New Year, Dragon Boat Festival, and Mid-Autumn Festival. celebrated with lion dances, boat races, and mooncakes symbolizing family and good fortune. The Indian community celebrates Deepavali and Taipusam. Deepavali lights homes and hearts, symbolizing victory of light over darkness, while Taipusam honors Lord Murugan with colorful, deeply spiritual rituals and Kavadi offerings. The Muslim community celebrates Hari Raya Eid al-Fitr and Maulid al-Nabi. Hari Raya marks Ramadan's end with prayers, new clothes, festive meals, and joyful gatherings in beautifully decorated mosques. Buddhists observe temple ceremonies and charity. Christians celebrate Christmas with lights along Orchard Road, while National Day and the Formula One night race showcase Singapore's unity, fireworks, and electrifying festivities. Let's talk about food because Singapore takes it seriously. Its cuisine reflects rich cultural diversity, offering an incredible mix of flavors. The heart of it all, hawker centers, bustling food courts filled with affordable stalls serving authentic dishes. Recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage, they're where you'll find the city's best food. Try Hainanese chicken rice, Singapore's unofficial national dish. Tender chicken, fragrant rice, and spicy sauces in perfect harmony. Then there's chili crab, messy but unforgettable with sweet spicy sauce soaked up by fried mantou buns. Other favorites include char kway teow, smoky stir-fried noodles, nasi lemak, coconut rice with sambal and fried sides, kaya toast, sweet coconut jam on toast, roti prata, crispy flatbread with curry, laksa spicy coconut noodle soup, and hokkien mee seafood noodles in rich broth. For drinks, enjoy Kopi strong local coffee, Teh Tarik frothy pulled tea, or Bandung sweet rose milk. You'll also find sugarcane juice and barley water at every corner. Best of all, you can feast on all this world-class food for just a few dollars, truly one of Singapore's greatest joys. To experience Singapore's cultural diversity, visit Chinatown, Little India, and Kampong Glam. Chinatown bursts with red lanterns, temples like the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple, and shops selling herbs, jade, and authentic Chinese cuisine. Little India dazzles with colorful saris, spices, and the Sri Veeramakaliamman Temple. During festivals, the streets light up in vibrant celebration. Kampong Glam, the Malay Arab quarter, centers around the Sultan Mosque with its golden domes. Nearby, Arab Street and the Malay Heritage Center showcase culture, crafts, and Middle Eastern cuisine. Together, these districts reflect how tradition and modernity thrive side by side in Singapore. So when should you visit Singapore? Here's the thing. Because of its location near the equator, Singapore's weather is remarkably consistent year-round. It's always warm and humid, with frequent rain showers. So theoretically, you could visit any time. That said, there are peak and off-peak seasons based on tourist crowds rather than weather. December through early January is peak season because of the holidays and the Singapore shopping festivals. June and July also see high tourist numbers.